Дякую меру Мілуокі та його всієї команді за те, що вони створили фонд підтримки нашого міста, міста Герой Ірпінь. І дійсно сьогодні ми звертаємося до вас за допомогою. За допомогою відновити об'єкти інфраструктури, відновити наші зруйновані садочки, школи, стадіони. Бо наше місто, на жаль, на 70% знищено російськими окупантами. І сьогодні Ірпіню потрібна допомога. В нас стоїть вкрай необхідне завдання до 1 вересня відновити садочки, школи, стадіон, щоб діти могли змогу навчатися. І просимо і мешканців Мілуокі, і нашу українську діаспору в Мілуокі, і крупний бізнес допомогти нам в цьому. Разом ми точно впораємось.
Mayor just asked that they are extending the request to help rebuild the city infrastructure so the kids can return back to schools on September to rebuild the schools, kindergartens, the critical infrastructure for citizens to feel normal again. And right now they're just extending a request for City of Milwaukee to help, the residents of Milwaukee and the business community of Milwaukee to help any way they can.
Well, I'm happy to be here with Mayor Alexander Bakushin from Irpin in Ukraine. As many folks know, the city of Milwaukee has had a long-standing sister cities relationship with Irpin, which is just outside of the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. And Irpin has sustained many days, consecutive days of fighting between Ukrainian forces as well as Russian forces. And the city has sustained serious damage as a result of that. And so now that we've gotten to this point in the conflict, now the city of Irpin is in a spot where they can work now to rebuild, where they can work now to re-establish their critical infrastructure. And very importantly, they're working to make sure that come September, they're able to send their children back to school. And so the mayor has traveled across the ocean from Ukraine here to its sister city, here to Milwaukee, with a simple ask. And the ask is that those folks of good heart and friendship in Milwaukee support our friends, support our partners in Ukraine, particularly in our sister city of Irpin, to work to make sure that they can get their critical infrastructure back up and running so that they can get back to normal life in that city and so that they can send their children to school. And I know that's something that's very important to us as we look to end the school year for kids here in Milwaukee, but look forward to sending our kids back to school in a safe manner this September. They're looking to do the exact same thing in Irpin. And that's what the ask is for Milwaukeeans to be as generous as we know they are, to work to make sure that our friends over in Irpin, over in Ukraine, who have been fighting and bearing the brunt of this war, have the opportunity to get back to some normalcy in their lifetime.
The main reason why we came here is to meet our friends and to meet the Milwaukee mayor.
And how did that conversation go? I know this was the first time meeting in person, right? How did that go?
Как прошла ваша встреча? Мы знаем, что это был первый митинг личный ваш.
Пройшла встреча дуже добре. Ми познайомилися вже вживу з мером. До цього ми спілкувалися тільки по скайпу. Під час війни він нам висловлював слова підтримки нашого міста і нашої України.
Очень рады, we were very excited to meet Mayor face to face and finally be able to shake hands and hear the words of support. And we think the meeting went very well. We were able to discuss all the important aspects that we were when we came.
Ми приїхали просити про допомогу, просити поради, як краще людям презентувати, розказати про наше місто Ірпінь.
We came here to ask for help because of the extraordinary circumstances that the city of Irpin is right now, and ask Mayor advice how to bring that message to Milwaukee population, to Milwaukee citizens, and what can be done to support the efforts of rebuilding the city of Irpin.
Але мер та його команда вже перші зробили кроки, вже відкрили благодійний фонд, відкрили рахунок для збору коштів на підтримку саме нашого міста.
Mayor and his team already opened an account, direct account to help the sister city, and they start collecting funds, rebuilding funds for Irpin right now, which is very exciting.
І ми дуже дякуємо і взагалі керівництву і Соединеним Штатам Америки за підтримку Україні. І, звичайно, дякуємо і меру Мілуокі за ту підтримку саме місту Ірпінь.
We're very appreciative to citizens of United States, to the America as a country, and especially Milwaukeeans for word of support, for actions to support, and hoping together we will rebuild our relationship even stronger.
Бо Ірпінь – це то місто, яке зупинило ворога на підходу до столиці, до Києва.
The city of Irpin is the place where Russian forces were stopped from moving forward and prevent Russian military from overtaking the capital of Ukraine. That's the place where a main battle for capital happened.
І наше місто, якщо взяти всю Київську область, найбільше всього постраждало. Бо місто Ірпінь вело бій, і місто Ірпінь перемогло Другу армію світу – Росія.
Because of that, because of the main fighting happened in Irpin, that's the city sustained most damage from all other surrounding capital cities. But citizens of Irpin showed courage and defiance to free their land, to stop the Russian aggression. And that's what they done.
Да, і місто зруйновано більше, ніж на 50%. І дуже зруйновані школи, садочки, спортмайданчики, футбольні стадіони. І в нас стоїть тепер завдання, одне з головних, відновити, розбудувати, бо 1 вересня діти йдуть в школу, а треба, щоб вони кудись уже йшли. І без допомоги Milwaukee, без допомоги бізнесу потужного ми самі не впораємося. І ми звертаємося за допомогою.
Irpin was destroyed more than 50% beyond repair. City infrastructure, regular city apartment buildings, schools, kindergartens, stadiums, regular life was disrupted. And now this is why we're here. Since the war is over, our main goal, my main purpose is continue to rebuild efforts, to restore normality, to bring people back to the city, making sure the kids will see school year on September 1st. This is our main goal right now, to restore that normality.
Бо Україна веде війну не тільки за себе, за свою незалежність, за свою цілісність, а й за весь демократичний світ. Україна відстоює, що демократія має бути і демократія переможе.
Ukraine right now fighting total democratic. It's democratic war efforts. It's not only war for Ukraine itself. It's a democratic values. What's at stake right now. This is why it's so important. This is why the whole world is supporting Ukraine, because people realize that the fighting autocracy, the one-man rule, is fighting for democracy as a whole. That's when people have rights to elect their own officials and to elect their own way of life. That's what at stake right now. What system will prevail? Democratic system or authoritarian system? This is why it's so important right now to make sure that Ukraine wins, to show the world that democracy will prevail. Do you have any questions to me?
Yes. In terms of your time here in Milwaukee, first impressions, finally, being able to be here and getting introduced to the city and its people.
Она спрашивает, первый раз, вы после, с того времени, как вы были здесь последний раз, какие у вас впечатления еще, за то время, пока, за тот день, когда вы здесь находитесь, какие-то впечатления положительные?
Про Мілуокі.
Да, про Мілуокі.
Звичайно, нам приємно тут бути. Це місто побратим, це наш друг Мілуокі. І ми бачимо, як тут все красиво процвітає, як все працює. І ми дуже пишаємося, що в нас в Штатах є місто побратим, місто друг нашого Ірпіня.
We're glad to see Milwaukee prosper and peaceful. And we understand that we have a sister city across the world, the place where we always welcome, and our citizens feel that way, not only officials.
У вас молодий мер, який хоче багато змінити, і ми бачимо, що в нього є все це бажання Мілуокі зробити ще краще. Так само і у нас в Ірпіні молода команда працює в місті, і так само ми хочемо його відбудувати. І в нас стоїть завдання вже не зробити, як було до 24 лютого, а зробити ще краще. І я впевнений, що спільно з мером Мілуокі, спільно з бізнесом Мілуокі, з діаспорою українською в нас все вийде.
Milwaukee has very young and energetic mayor now that wants to change Milwaukee in the positive way. He also inspired by Ukrainians, and we think together will make our both communities better, stronger, more resilient.
It's my great honor to have met today with Mayor Markushin of Irpin. So many of us were transfixed when we watched the news and heard about the 40-mile-long convoy of Russian equipment and military materials that were coming down in Irpin and on their way to Kyiv. And Mayor Markushin, a person who before he was mayor was in charge of public works for the city of Irpin, was pressed into the position of having to be in charge of their territorial defense, and they successfully beat back the Russian aggressors. Now, today, he's come to Milwaukee to ask Milwaukee, and in fact the entire state of Wisconsin, for our assistance to help rebuild Irpin. They've been fighting the fight for democracy on the behalf of all of us, and I think it's our duty as Americans, as Wisconsinites, as Milwaukeeans, to do what we can to make sure that they're strong and viable economically, and that the people of Irpin have access to the humanitarian aid that they need. So I pledge today on behalf of my company resources to help the schools of Irpin, and we're going to be reaching out to so many of you as the need is urgent and it is great.